Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is now in theaters, so I just wanted to put out a quick, non-spoiler review so that you can make the decision as to whether you want to invest your time and money to go see this movie in theaters. So jumping right in, I enjoyed this movie. I think it was well done, and I'm glad I went to see it in theaters. So if that's all the information you need, there you go. But I feel like everyone's a little different. Not everyone enjoys movies as easily as I do, and not everyone gets bothered by the same things I do in movies. So here are a few criteria you can use to help you determine if this movie would be right for you. So first off, how would I describe Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania? To me, it feels like somebody watched Disney's Strange World, the movie that came out recently, and thought, you know, this would make a great Star Wars movie. And they merged the two concepts together and dropped it into the MCU. Because to me, that's what this feels like. Strange World, their big draw was this beautiful spectacle that they were creating. Well, that's a big part of Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. It's a spectacle. There's so much creativity in this movie, in the things that they have created. I think the visual effects team knocked it out of the park with this one. So much was created in the world around them, in the creatures that they interact with, and even the ones just in the background. You watch behind the characters, and it's this amazing scene with these characters that are so detailed that you'll never ever see again because they're just there for the background. So I think that the spectacle is amazing. And that's kind of the part from Strange World. But then Star Wars, this felt more like a Star Wars movie than an MCU movie. I don't want to go into the details because I don't want to spoil the movie, but it's almost like if I'd watched a Star Wars movie, one of the early Star Wars movies, except there were no Jedi and maybe an angrier Darth Vader. I think that's honestly the best description you can give for this movie. So if that is something that you think you would enjoy, a Star Wars type movie with a angry Darth Vader and more of a spectacle, no Jedi, and instead having Ant-Man and the Wasp traveling around, well then this movie's for you, if that's the sort of thing you'd enjoy. And for me, that is the sort of thing I enjoy. The Mandalorian TV show I absolutely love, and that is kind of exploring the Star Wars world with a non-Jedi, and there's a lot of similarities there. If that is not enough for you to make your decision, let's compare to some of the recent Marvel movies that have come out. So looking at the past 5 Marvel movies, to me, I would put this one above Thor: Love and Thunder and above the Eternals. Feels like it came out a long time ago, but it is in the last 5 Marvel movies if I remember them correctly. So it's definitely above those two. And I would actually put this above Spider-Man No Way Home. I really enjoyed Spider-Man No Way Home, but there were some details in that movie that made it so that as I watched it again and watched it a third time and a fourth time, there are some details in Spider-Man No Way Home that ruined the replayability for me a little bit. I don't think this is going to happen in Quantumania. The details is really where this movie shines. There's so much that I feel like they thought this through. They saw the other Marvel movies and TV shows, and they made sure they were using the terminology the same way, that they were handling things the same way, but in their own world. So, to me, it gets the edge over Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, I do have it below Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. I think Wakanda Forever was really well done. And although it wasn't quite as good as the first Black Panther, which I absolutely loved, it's one of my absolute favorite Marvel movies to date, I still thought Wakanda Forever was really, really good too. And I don't think Quantumania is quite to that level. So the question then comes, comparing it to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which I really enjoyed that movie because of really just the mind-boggling nature of what happened in it. I think this movie is on par with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness for me. That said, I love Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, so that is a good compliment. So I don't know if your rankings are similar to mine, but for me, this is above Thor: Love and Thunder and Eternals, and a little above Spider-Man No Way Home, below Wakanda Forever, but about on par with Multiverse of Madness. So there are 2 different criteria you can use. Lastly, just in general, my opinion, should you see this movie in theaters? My answer is yes, I think you should. Now, a lot of times the reason I want to go see a Marvel movie in theaters is just because I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait for it to be out on video or now streaming on Disney+. I want to be able to see it sooner and know what's happening sooner. For this movie, there's more to that. There's a different reason to want to see this one in theaters, and that's because of the spectacle. I think this is going to be much better in theaters than it will be once it's streaming or on video. I think being able to see the world, the sprawling world that they create, is something I'm so glad I saw it in theaters, and I would recommend you do too. This might even be one worth spending an extra few dollars to see in IMAX, just because of the vastness, the details of this world that was created. So in the end, do I recommend spending your money to see this? Yeah, I do. I am so glad that I saw it, and I'm planning to go see it again soon in theaters. So there we have it. That is my opinion on whether this is a movie worth seeing in theaters. I say yes. I think it is. I think it was great. And if those two criteria helped you for determining if this is a movie that fits for you, great. If you do go see it, I hope you enjoy it, and as always, thank you for watching.